Hello. We're in the car. Kane's putting on her lip gloss. But so I asked you guys questions to ask us on my YouTube, the community tab, because we're both obviously younger moms, and so I want to make a video about our experiences, questions, because I know that everyone is fascinated by the fact that we had children younger. So I asked you guys a bunch of questions, and you gave us a bunch of questions.
Okay, what were your thoughts on teen moms before becoming one? I thought that I would never be one, and I would be like, if I had a kid young, I would literally die. I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Since my mom was a teen mom, my brother, and then she got married, and then she had me, but in her teenage years, I was like, I didn't think anything bad of it. I still don't think being a teen mom is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think people stereotype it as that because they think of all the other things. They're like, oh my god, you can't go out to a party. Oh my god, you can't go out drinking, which you literally can.
Yeah.
You get a babysitter, which is what adults do when they literally have kids. I cannot tell you guys how many times my parents went out and they did this and this and this, and we had a babysitter. My grandparents watched me, whatever. So
Yeah.
that, I was like, okay, I don't think it's a bad thing. I didn't ever think teen moms were bad or whatever. I literally watched teen mom shows. I watched YouTubers that were teen moms. I watched freaking Maddie Lambert,
16 and
Kaylee
pregnant.
Varney, yeah, everything. I watched Unexpected on TLC. So I never thought it was a bad thing. Did I think it was gonna happen to me? No. But did I always think I was gonna be a young mom? Yes, and I said that forever, but I was thinking young mom as in 20,
Yeah.
not as in 6 years before that.
And I also don't think there's a certain number, a certain age where you can become a mom.
Yeah.
People always say oh my gosh, you're so young. Yeah.
I would rather honestly be a younger mom than be an older mom. I wouldn't want to be 35 with my first kid. That's just me personally. I understand if you can't have children or you're waiting that long for a career or something like that. That's perfectly fine. But for me, I've never wanted to be an older
mom.
age as an older mom, because I've always heard of when you're an older mom, it's hard for you to do stuff with your kids. You feel like you can't run around, you feel like you can't relate to them as much, stuff like that. I'd rather be relatable with my child and be okay, I can walk and run around, instead of being
40-year-olds.
If you're a 40-year-old mom, we're not saying anything's bad. We're not saying anything's bad about that. Personally, I just wouldn't. That's just not for me. I just personally wouldn't do that. But if you are, that's fine. I don't care. Did you find it hard to have a life outside of being a mom? Was becoming a mom harder than you thought?
For the newborn stage, no. Because they sleep all the time. When their babies are literally just sleep, you just have to find time to sleep because they're up throughout the night. But honestly, I thought the toddler stage was gonna be way easier, and it's not. We literally
I thought the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I knew that when Allura was little, she was like from newborn to 1.5, she was not crazy. Obviously now she's a toddler, so she can go around. We'd be in the store, she wants to get out of the car. We literally in the store yesterday, and our kids were chasing each other around, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening
store.
right now?
Yeah.
It was literally insane. So stuff like that is oh my gosh, and you're you can't, we have to obviously grab our child, and we're you can't do that, you have to go in timeout, discipline and stuff like that. So when they're little, I guess it's easier just for me. So as a toddler,
No, that's what I was saying. It's harder as the
toddler. It's harder as being a toddler. But then when they're in school, I think it'll be easier because obviously it's kindergarten, they're interacting with other kids and whatever that.
They can wake up and we don't have to wake up with them.
So that will be easier. So just right now, the toddler stage is hard, but I feel a lot of people say that anyway. You find it hard to have a life without being a mom? Yes and no, because I think when you become pregnant, you understand, okay, I'm a mom now, and I can't just do whatever I want whenever I want. I can't just get up and leave. I can't just...
Yeah, it's time to grow up.
Yes, you understand that, and I know that some moms don't, though. There's some moms I know that don't understand that and never have understood that, and they have, old kids, and they just don't understand that they can't just do whatever they want whenever they want. And a lot of the time, that's also, dads, too. I feel because the mom's pregnant, and she's okay, I have a human in me, and, whatever, it's easier for us to understand, and... a life outside being a mom, I don't like hanging out with people. So that was never a thing for me. I really genuinely just don't like hanging out with people. Besides Kaden. It's I don't know, because people have kids, Kaden can relate with me. If you have kids, it's so much easier to relate on that. So when I want to hang out with people who don't have kids, I'm oh my gosh, let me text my boyfriend and be oh my gosh, is Laura okay? Or I'm talking about my daughter, and they're just I don't
Yeah.
what?
I hung out with I had a bunch of friends in high school before a baby, and then once I lost them all, I didn't really hang out with them after Briella. I would go to my high school football games, but I had to like there's like a process. Like I have to make sure I have diapers, I have to make sure snacks, I have to make sure I have someone to watch her bedtime, her bath. Like I have to make sure all these things, and like other people don't. They can just be like, okay, meet you there, and I'm like, hold on, wait, I have a kid. I have to make, like I have to have like everything prepared.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of hard. Like whenever you leave her, like even with like when I go out and like my mom watches her, I have to make sure I have everything prepared.
Like even when like, my
even though I
parents would
trust
watch
my
her,
mom.
yeah, exactly. Like even when Laura was like little and she would breastfeed, I was like, okay, I have to make sure I pump milk and have milk ready, and I'm like, here's the diapers, here's the wipes, here's everything, like you know where it is.
Yeah.
You have to make sure everything's prepared. So I guess that, but besides that, it was never like
I don't really go
hard
out.
for me. Yeah, I don't go places.
And if I do, she's with me.
Like I literally don't even go anywhere.
We go to Walmart to get groceries.
Literally.
Okay, what made you keep? They said keep the baby. What made you keep the baby? In my like experience, abortion was never like the option. So I just like when I was pregnant, I was just like, okay, I guess I'm pregnant.
I never ever thought, okay, I'm gonna get an abortion or want to get an abortion.
Yeah.
It's just never. I wouldn't. It's just not for me. And I would never give my baby up for adoption too. Again, not for me. Like I understand some people who. Like I know someone who had to give their baby up for adoption because their parents were like, you're giving your kid for adoption, which I think is honestly really sad. Like I feel like that's horrible, and especially if your parents are like telling you what to do when you're pregnant, I think that's horrible. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So like for me, I was just like, no, I want my daughter.
And both of our parents were like supportive.
Yes.
Like, not like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're pregnant, but like
the
they
fact
were
that you're like, okay, you're having a baby and you're gonna like
get through this,
be there, and you're gonna be fine and stuff like that. So thank God, because if I had a parent that was like, oh my God, you're not having a kid, I want you in my house,
I
wouldn't know what to do. Any of your friends act different around you guys after having like your children?
100%.
For me, like, so basically we both got pregnant at like COVID. So like literally it was like the summertime, so COVID happened in like March, and then it was summertime. We literally got pregnant both in July. So I didn't hang out with people because of COVID. Like school wasn't a thing. You don't like go to people's houses. Like it was like freaky. Like nobody wanted to get COVID. So I really wanted to hang out with Jason. So like I honestly lost all my friends because of that. Like I would text people. I just want to hang out with them. So like nobody acts different because I had a Laura, but people know like now that I have obviously a daughter and I can't just do stuff. Like if me and Jason would get invited to parties or something, I'd be like, okay, well I probably like half the time would be like, no, I can't go.
Yeah.
It depends on like the time, the day, like when and where, like stuff like that. But no, I didn't really like have people.
And we have like select people who we leave our kids with.
Yes.
So it's like we have to make sure who watches them. For me, I lost like all my friends. And then I still had to go to school. So like I got pregnant in July, and then my school started in August. So I still had to like go to school with a belly and a bump and pregnant. And people would just like look at me, but I just like didn't mind it.
That's so awkward.
And my belly would hit the desk.
How long did it take your body to bounce back after pregnancy? Before you're pregnant with your second child, at what approximate age did you plan for your second child to be born at?
I want my next kid in 3 years. So when Briella is 5 and she goes into kindergarten, then I'll have my next, and then from there I want them all like a year to 2 years apart, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. I wanted my next child. Literally, I didn't care really when. Because I got pregnant. I got pregnant, like, basically, I guess a year sooner than I wanted to, because Jason and I wanted to be fully moved out and then get pregnant again. We just did it, like, literally just, like, a year-ish, like, 9-ish months before we wanted to. So, like, I was like, whatever, because we were gonna have another kid anyway. And then the bouncing back part, honestly...
Never. For me.
Like, about 50 pounds when I was pregnant with Laura.
I gained 40.
Me... I lost all my weight, I think, really because of breastfeeding helped a lot, because you burn so many calories. But I lost it pretty fast. Like I remember it was like a week after I gave birth and I could wear my jeans again and stuff like that. But obviously everyone's different. There's a lot of people I know that, like, it's whatever. It's like really how your body reacts. Like I know.
Same with like stretch marks.
Yeah.
Like
I got stretch marks on my legs. I have them up here. So it depends on your body and like
genetics.
Yeah, all that. It really just depends.
Do you feel like you get weird looks in public for being a young parent? I don't feel like I get weird looks, but like whenever I say like, yeah, I'm a mom, like I'm 18 and I have a 2-year-old, they'll be like, what?
I know. She's on higher, so I hope you guys can hear us.
Okay, if you were an outsider, how would you view your parenting? Like, is there some things you wish you'd done different at the beginning of Laura and Briella's life? or some things you would have implanted at a young age?
For me, in the stores, I would have been like, from the start, you have to sit in the cart and you have to understand we're at the store.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that, because we'll go in the store and Laura doesn't really like the cart and she wants to get out of the cart the whole time, and then she wants like a toy in the store. Like, so basically we used to go to the stores and she'd be in the car and then I would take her out. She didn't want to be in it, so I'd carry her around and I would always get her a toy. Like, I wish I didn't do stuff like that.
Her toy section is, and that's the first thing we have to go to, and she has to get a toy and she has to place it in the cart, and I'm like, no, you're in the store, you sit in the cart and you wait for mom.
Yeah, like things like that. I just wish
what you want.
Yeah, like I wish that I didn't be like, okay, you can have it, you can have it, you can have it, you can have it.
Just make it easier for us.
Oh, people are asking about school. Okay, guys, we don't go to school. Caden, I did homeschooling after I had my daughter, and Caden like went into school or whatever. So
but I went for one class period.
Yeah, so she like did a whole ceremony, like she graduated with her class.
No, I graduated
her year before, but like she went to like a ceremony thingy.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I'm homeschooled, or I was homeschooled. I'm done with school now, so we both don't go to school. And when I did school, like I just said, I was homeschooled, so I never went into school. I always had Laura with me at home. I feel like I went over that like a million times, and people still ask.
Were you scared of giving birth? I was scared of tearing, and I was scared of, like, towards the end, I was like, how is a, like, literal human supposed to come out of me? So I was scared of that, but, like, in the moment, I was like, just get her out. So, like, yes and no.
She did it unmedicated. I had an epidural.
Yeah. And I did not tear, but she did. So.
Yeah, I tore. So, basically, there's, like, different tearing you can have. I had the first degree tear, I guess it's called, where, like, you literally tear and you have, like, one stitch. And, it wasn't bad at all. Like, I had an epidural, so, like, I felt contractions, and when I got to a 6, I was like, okay, no, I need the epidural right now. So, it, like, obviously, she did unmedicating crap, but I didn't, so I don't really know, like, what that's like to have it with, like, absolutely no medicine. But I was never scared to give birth, because I knew, like, okay, you're pregnant, like, you literally have to give birth to get the baby out of you, so I just, like, prepare myself for that. But since I got induced, I feel like I had more time to prepare, because I didn't have, like, one day get up, have contractions, like, have to go to the hospital. Like, I had a set day to go, so it wasn't that, like, I don't know, it just wasn't bad for me.
Who got pregnant first? We got pregnant on the same day.
Literally. How many kids do you want in the future? 3.
6.
I don't know what.
I want a
why.
zoo. I want you to come to my house and there's just a zoo.
She wants a school bus. So I just want to have one more pregnancy after this, and then like whatever.
But our next pregnancy, my next and her third, we're gonna get pregnant together.
Yeah, we want to like have the similar, because obviously Laura and Briella are like literally 2 weeks apart, so we want to have similar.
And we were due 1 day apart.
Yeah, Shawty went way overdue, and I went 9 days early.
I went 9 days late. What did your boyfriend say when you told him? I know he didn't leave you, but was he shocked or happy? My boyfriend, when I told him, we were in the Walmart parking lot, and I came out with the ultrasound, with the pregnancy test, and he started crying. And my mom was crying. He was crying because he was scared of what my dad was gonna say. And then my mom started crying and called my aunt, and and then she called my dad.
Jason, the first time I texted him, and I was like, I'm pregnant, and I sent him a picture of the thing, and he's like, no, you're not. And I was like, yes, I am. And then he said, like, no, you're not, in all caps, or like, no way, or something in all caps, like something about like one of those.
Yeah.
I don't have the freaking screenshots. I wish I did. And they basically be like, just FaceTimed and we talked about it. But this time he was just like, he said no, because I walked in crying, and I was like, yeah.
Went to get ultrasounds and stuff with the doctor's judgy. Well, she actually had an experience with that.
So with Laura, when I went into like a pediatrician to like actually confirm like the fact, like, okay, like you're actually pregnant, even though I took like 4 pregnancy tests, and they're like, yes, you are, and they told me like how many weeks I was pregnant. And then I had a nurse, and she was actually extremely rude, and she was like, well, how did you get pregnant? And I was like,
you tell me.
How do you get pregnant? Like, obviously, like, there's like one way to like naturally get pregnant. Like, I literally like did the tango. Like, I don't know what to tell you this time. And like, at my OBGYN, they were never rude to me or anything like with Laura. This time, people are kind of weird there. They know I already have, I went to the same practice this time. They know I have a daughter, and like the doctors, like the OBGYNs, like they're perfectly not, like they're fine. But the nurses are like kind of rude. They ask me, is that the same baby daddy as your first baby daddy? They asked me like how old your daughter, and like stuff like that, like just like trying to figure out like when I had her, how old I was, everything like that, even though it's already in their system. So like, but the thing is that I've had like so many nurses going there, because I have all different ones every time, and the only 2 times I've had like older nurses, they asked me. So like, I'm like, guys, why are you asking me the same thing every time I go? It's actually making me really mad.
For me, what was it? Oh yeah, I went into a pediatrician too to confirm my pregnancy test. They had to like pee in a cup and dip it, and I was with my mom, and this was the day after I found out I was pregnant, and when it came back positive, the nurse walked in and she was like, she told my mom, she was like, so it is positive, if you know what that means. And I was like, I know, I'm 15, I'm pregnant. Like, I know, my mom knows. Like,
oh
and
my
I was
God.
so awkward. And my mom was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, okay. Because I just had to get it like confirmed before I could get seen at a doctor. Did you gain any friends because you got pregnant? The only friend I gained was her.
We've actually had a lot of mom friends, but like coincidentally, none of them work out because
like we're the only. She's the only person I've met.
Yeah, we've only met in real life. But like, we had like online ones, but they never work out because these girls are like honestly completely different than we are. Like not only with like the parenting, but like just like the acting and like stuff like that. So we just vibe together.
Yeah, and we
don't talk like bad about each other. And like the thing is that like a lot of these people talk bad about each other and it goes around and goes around. And like we were just like connected. Like once we started like Snapchatting or DMing, I don't even know. We met over Instagram, but like I don't even know. But we just like clicked and it was never like awkward. And then we met so we started becoming friends August of 2021. And then we met in April of 2022. And then I just keep coming back. Like
and
5
then
times.
I went back to her house when she has her baby.
Yeah. I won't tell her name though.
I know. On Wednesday she will. I'm gonna know the name.
Hey guys. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And I think this is the only Q&A we've ever done together. We filmed like 3 videos together, that's all.
But it was like daily lives.
Yeah. But I hope you guys liked this video. Obviously, I hope that we asked all the questions you guys want. And I hope you guys just like cured your curiosity on that. Yeah. But if you have more questions, ask us in the comments and I'll reply to you guys. But thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye guys.